What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 250 of Opinions May Vary. I am your host, JR. I have my co-host with me, Alex.
Hello.
Hey, man.
Hi.
How are you? Okay. Joining us this week in studio. First time in studio ever for this person. And also first time in studio in how long? Since we've had anyone in the studio with us?
Oh, that.
Long time. Long time.
I'm not
We're just
sure.
too popular, It's just, it happens. But anyways, it is the one and only Babs who takes pictures.
Hello.
Hey, Babs. It's been a long time.
It has been.
You were on
I'm looking it up.
a long time ago? Yeah, look it up. There you go.
I was working
That
on
was via the Skype. That was when the first season of Powers had come out.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was like, Babs watched it. So you could talk to the one person about it. And you and Babs made it so that there could be a season 2, just the two of you.
We had a review topic, and you got to sit there and listen.
I did. I did.
That was episode 164.
Almost 100.
Yeah.
Almost 100.
All right, so you're not allowed to have me on for another 100 episodes.
Fair.
That's the rule, right?
You know what?
We've
That's the Babs
had
rule.
that rule in effect in the past with other guests. It doesn't always work, though.
Babs is here to help us close out one of the greatest years ever, right? It's our end of the year episode.
Yeah.
But it's hard to be excited about a year that took so much from us.
Well, I
And-
figure if I can break a lot of electronics, I can break the end of 2016 with you guys.
Oh, everything about this year made me sad. Not everything, because we
There was plenty of good things.
there's a lot to be excited about. There's also a lot to not be excited about. But anyways, Powers, am I right? Because there was a season 2, remember that?
Yeah. But there also isn't going to be any more seasons of that.
Yeah, I mean, are you surprised? I'm not saying Powers is a bad show. I'm not saying that at all. I've never seen it.
Mhm.
I can't, the way you guys talk about it, I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of rad. However, you two are the only people I know who have seen it.
Yeah.
We are 2 of the 4 people who I know who have seen it, so.
Yeah, I don't know anyone else, to be honest.
And I don't even know if they saw season 2.
So the show, which is only on PlayStation Network,
Which is weird in itself.
it's
It's
PlayStation Network's only TV show that they've produced.
Oh, is it? That explains a lot.
Yeah. Yep. But you could also kind of rent it from them, and you could get it on.
the first episode's on YouTube or whatever. Is that
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Well, it looks like you could buy more. You could buy the episodes using other. It's on Amazon Video and Vudu.
Totally. I know what that
Vudu's
is.
part of PSN, actually. Anyway, this started as a comic book series by Brian Michael Bendis and I can't remember his full name. His last name is Oming. I'm a bad geek right now.
Oh,
I'm a
no.
terrible
Fake
person.
geek boy.
I'm just sitting here judging you.
I've got a bunch of his books. I'll come to it in a second. And we wanted it to be a TV show for a while, but it just wasn't happening until
It's a neat premise.
until it is.
No, it's a great premise. It was clear where they put their money.
Michael Avon Oming, that's his name.
Got it.
I came up with it. I didn't look it up. But it's one of the things we. All right, let's do this. Go back to episode 164.
Yeah.
Listen to our review on the first season to get an idea of what it was like. There's a lot of things that I thought about bringing up, but we've already talked about it. So we'll move on to season 2.
Right.
Bab's favorite character became even more favorite
Okay, that's usually a good thing.
because she already really dug Callista in the first season. Thought she was great, right?
Oh, so much.
No.
I think the entire episode was just me complaining about her. And then season 2 came out and I was like, actually, she was really good this season. I couldn't stop talking about how much more I liked her.
Mm-hmm. So Callista was a character in the first season who didn't have powers, but tried to get by saying that she did have powers, and that just made her annoying. Because she'd go and hang out with all the powered folk, and they'd be like, "Oh, what's your power?" She's like, "It hasn't manifested yet. I know I have them, but I just don't have them yet. But I know they're there. And everyone's like, sure, wannabe, whatever.
It's like Mr. Furious from Mystery Men.
Yes, exactly.
He has the power to get really angry.
And that's it.
That's it. He just yells. Have you ever seen Mystery Men?
I have. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta see it again.
Yep.
Dan Cook is in that movie.
I didn't know that.
He's the waffler.
Oh god,
I didn't know that was
right.
Dan Cook.
He auditions to be on the team, and he's like, "What's your power?" He's like, "I'm the waffler man." And like burns himself with the waffle iron.
Of course he does.
And they were like, ah.
He's not even funny when other people write for him.
Damn. Savage.
But in season 2, Callista does, spoiler alert, she gets her powers, and she's convinced she's the new Retro Girl because Retro Girl dies. One of the things I explained to you, Babs, not on the episode, but like through chat on Facebook or something, was that Volume 1 of the comic series Powers starts with Retro Girl already being dead.
Right.
And like the name of the first trade is Who Killed Retro Girl? And so the entire first trade paperback is like Deanna and Walker like trying to find the killer. So it wasn't that big of a mystery to me. Like it was a thing of like, how are they going to go about this and make it different from the book, but still kind of the same? Because a lot of things they made it different for TV, but they were still trying to follow a certain track.
Yeah.
So I like that. That was neat. But you dug Callista.
I finally dug Callista, yes.
Having powers. I thought it was a really weird switch.
See, for me, it was just like a child is screaming for a lollipop, and you give the child a lollipop, and they're an angel.
Uh-huh.
Like, that was Callista to me. It's like, oh, good, she shut up about this thing. Fine.
Because they made her out to be, like, underage, because she was, like, a girl, like a teenage girl.
In the comic or in the show?
In the show.
Okay, I could not tell what her age was supposed to be.
No, you couldn't tell. But, like, you could tell that Walker was treating her a certain way because she was so young.
Yeah.
And, like, definitely had, like, that protective, like, older brother kind of vibe going on.
But also, didn't Powers age much slower than normal humans?
They're all different.
Okay.
It's not like there's, like, a regular, like, rule for all of them. Who knows?
Okay, I didn't know if I was just, like, making it up in my head because
Nah.
I do the fantasy sci-fi.
It's occasionally up to the writer to decide what's possible and what's not. That's the rule for all comic books. But in season 2, like, she's not a girl anymore.
Oh, no, she was not.
And that's one of the things that got to me was, like, I'm so used to seeing this girl who's, like, wearing jeans and a full-size T-shirt, and now she's wearing her super outfit.
Yeah, and she was absolutely breathtaking in it.
They were really
You said
jacked.
a weird word there.
It was quite a tittillating view.
Oh, there's another one.
They were super jacked up, and she had
Yeah.
midriff the entire time and short skirt, and it was like, you're a different person. And even when she was out of her super costume, she was still wearing some outfits that were like really tight or revealing, and it's like that's the only switch that took. That it caught me off guard, I'll say. I don't know how else to put it.
I'm just going with the assumption that her powers just burned her clothes off. There's no covering it.
Like it could have been a confidence thing, but
Oh, yeah, that too. I mean, honestly, it was probably a confidence thing, but I like just saying her powers just burned her clothes off. That's fine.
Michael Madsen was in this series
Okay.
for season 2.
Was he the same as always?
A little bit.
Yeah.
He was kind of mopey and mumbly.
See, the thing is, like, don't get me wrong, I like Michael Madsen.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite parts of, like, Kill Bill,
Mhm.
and one of the few tolerable parts of Hateful Eight.
Okay. I don't see him.
But again, that's unfair. Like, it's a beautiful movie, visually stunning.
Yeah.
It put me to sleep,
Mhm.
and that sucks because I love Quentin Tarantino.
Mhm.
I like his movies a lot. Notoriously, I've never seen Jackie Brown, but all the others I pretty much really dig.
Mm-hmm.
But Michael Madsen tends to be the same. He tends to be Michael Madsen and everything.
Yeah. Because he was really disappointing in Sin City.
Yeah,
That's one I always go back to.
yeah.
He was Hartigan's partner detective in Sin City, and it was just, what are you doing?
He was replaced in the second one.
He was in the second Sin City.
Well, no, the character was.
Oh, yeah.
But he was played by, I think, Jeremy Piven.
Okay.
I think. I can't remember.
So he was
Netflix.
He played a character named Super Shock in Powers 2. You're laughing.
Okay.
Because, like, I saw, like, publicity photos before the series came out, and it was Michael Madsen in this outfit with, like, it was an outfit that had, like, you could tell there was, like, fake abs in it, but it was meant to be, like, it's his abs and his chest, this all-white, like, bodysuit, kind of like a Superman thing.
Right.
With
Oh,
a cape.
right.
Kind of like a Shazam cape, almost, where it's, like, half over one shoulder. And I was like, is this a joke? Because why would they make Michael Madsen wear this? Like, he wouldn't wear this. And then he's actually in the show and wearing it. And I was like, all right, I guess I was wrong.
I
'Cause-
thought that was part of his dementia. Was that whole thing?
What, the outfit?
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Wow.
See, it looks kind of weird,
That's
right?
intense.
But part of his thing is that he is basically Superman.
Right.
He's the most powerful of all the powers. And, like, no one has a chance against him. And he's, like, been hiding and gone for decades. And then he comes back, and everyone's like, oh, no, it's Super Shock. I thought he died. But one of the things that makes him come back is the death of Retro Girl, because he wants to find out who did it, too.
Right.
But there's also an element of, like, what if he's the one that did it?
Oop.
No one can stop him. At one point, Callista tries, because the thing of Retro Girl is that when she dies, she doesn't fully go away. Her powers go to someone else,
Okay.
because they come back again. They're retro. So there's always a new Retro Girl.
Gotcha.
So that's what Callista became. She became Retro Girl. But, like, instead of being a middle-aged woman, she's this teenage girl again. And she tries getting a fight with Super Shock at one point. And this is where the episodes, I liked parts of them. Because they would try to be kind of, like, goofy and really colorful and superhero-y. But they would also still show you that there's things to be afraid of.
Yeah.
And so as superhero-y as Retro Girl is, and Callista has her new powers, so she can fly, she's super strong and everything, she gets one slap from Super Shock and then runs into the I forget what they call it, with the headquarters, the Powers headquarters, their jail cell, and, like, hides inside their power dampening cell. puts herself inside the power dampening cell and, like, locks the cage door so that Super Shock can't get to her, because
Right.
she's terrified. Because he's so much stronger than her, and she's super strong, and she's there's no chance. And, like, she expressed her fear well. She was hiding. Everyone else is like, "What's going on? Like, are we supposed to worry too? Because we're just humans." So that element was fun, but as much as Michael Madsen was still being Michael Madsen, because he would be plainclothes guy and be kind of brooding and kind of mumbly and trying to figure stuff out, and Christian Walker would, like, you could tell his character is trying to talk to him in a certain way as to not piss him off.
Yeah. Very placating most of the time.
Yeah, that's a good word. Thanks, Bev.
I just played Scrabble this week.
He was very placating, but, like, it's if he said, like, the wrong thing too much, like, it could have set him off too.
Yeah.
And yet, when he was Super Shock, he could stand up straight, which I was thankful for. Because usually Madsen is doing, like, this front slouch, this kind of, like, slump forward. And he wasn't when he was wearing the super costume, which, like, you should stand up straight like a Boy Scout. That's what you do. You're not like regular people. And we got to meet, like, more of the team, because Trip Hammer was still around, and Zora came back, and Zora was still doing stuff. Were you a fan of Zora? I remember you.
Zora was...
She was the Light Cubes chick.
I loved her. I did. But there was some where she was kind of placating as well, because she realized she was not stronger than Retro Girl.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted to be a mentor, and she wasn't really getting into that mentor role very well, because, you know, she's tried her entire Powers life to be center stage, and she's trying so hard to figure out what to do with herself.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked her character.
But she would also try and follow the previous Retro Girl's footsteps,
Yeah.
which was a neat thing, because the way that the powers work in that world is that they're celebrities. And so like football players get action figures and hockey players get like figurines made out of them and everything. And they'll sell their own jerseys or like their image is now part of something.
Or their shoes.
Yeah, exactly. Basketball players and their shoes. So if you were going to be a hero, you also had to have your own marketing team. And like you would get a contract with your marketing team and they would decide what clothes to have made of you and your action figures and like the statues and stuff. And so Zora like got completely punked by the Wolf in the previous season. And like no one wanted anything to do with her anymore. They were like throwing her stuff in the trash. And one of my favorite parts, which was also kind of sad.
Classic Alex.
It's a favorite sad. So the Wolf just completely destroyed Zora towards the end of season 1.
Basically did to her what the Hulk did to Loki.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like Ragdoll.
Ragdoll.
Yeah.
And so what was happening in this season, which is something that would really happen, was like people were online watching a video of Zora getting the crap beat out of her by the
Right.
Wolf. And like they're adding sound effects and like battle plan effects and everything, and so he's just swinging her back and forth. They're like badoink, 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 and like people are watching that and laughing. And Zora's like still got half her neck brace on, and she's watching this happen and being like, "This is funny to you?" I almost died right there. But in a very like honest element, that's what would happen.
Right.
Like, you know, someone throws a shoe at the president and we turn it into a carrot or the Mario radish, you know, all kinds of things.
I saw the Pokeball.
Yeah, all those,
Yep.
you know, we manipulate it because that's what amuses us. We don't care if it's someone's life. Not by we, I mean the internet.
Right.
The internet's a terrible creature.
Yeah,
But
it can be.
I also thought a little bit of it was they didn't know that it was a real fight because, I mean, people had arch enemies, so that they didn't know if it was staged or whatever. So they didn't know
Right.
that she was really in a hospital.
sometimes the marketing teams set up fights
Yeah,
to make each other some money.
because I don't remember if it was season 1 or 2 where they had a charity that was being interrupted by a villain.
Yeah.
A quote unquote villain.
Yeah. Red Claw or something.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
stupid.
It was really dumb. He was never in the original series. It was so dumb.
What a loss. Or what an addition, really.
You could tell that the budget got changed around a bit because they did like a flying effect with Retro Girl
Right.
that I hadn't seen before. Because like I've seen other shows where they figure out a way to show them having the power of flight.
Right.
And it's like, well, they're in a harness or they're just sitting on a bicycle seat over a green screen or, you know, they're just blurring the camera, they jump and they disappear. So there's some of that, but there's also things that I hadn't seen before. So they're trying new stuff. So one of the things I really appreciated about Power Season 2 was that there were things that they weren't just doing because that's how the company always does it. They were like trying to be innovative with what they were making. And
They
so
could have just stuck with the same old stuff.
They could have.
Yeah.
Because the one I remember was like she was like carrying a car through the desert and just like kind of comes down and lands, and I was like the angle they were at, and I'm like, I don't know how they did that.
Yeah.
It didn't look perfect, but I hadn't seen it before, and like that's something that I'll appreciate. I don't know if you spotted anything that was new to you.
I did notice some things that were different. But that is a great first finished version. Like we're probably gonna see this used in the future, but a little bit more polished. Like they figured out the base steps, the foundation, and it will be improved upon. But yeah, they did try some new effects that I liked. Because I watched Supergirl and it is the same like whoosh, they're gone.
Yeah. Or she's facing the camera and like with her fist out, and you know. Have you guys ever
Kind of
seen
what you expect.
Yeah. They've got like a leaf blower, a fan, or a sun blower in her hair. Have you guys ever seen the one where like there's two guys in green suits behind Superman? They're both just tugging on his cape, just like flipping his cape around to make it look like it's blowing.
Someone had posted a GIF on Reddit a week and a half ago from the original first Spider-Man movie with Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire and all that.
Yeah,
and it was of like Spider-Man swinging with Kirsten Dunst like clinging onto him. You know, it's like the close-up shot of her like looking around like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And when you just watch that one GIF over and over again, you realize how And like the way it was put on Reddit was how bad it looks, and I'm like, yo, at the time, that movie was the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved those. I dug the Spider-Man movies a lot, and it's fair to say that a lot of pretty much everyone else did, at least the first two.
Yeah.
Because they were like record shattering. Like when you watch that GIF, like you notice some things, like the Spider-Man that she's clinging to is actually like a mannequin, and like her hair is blowing in the wrong direction. It's really shocking sometimes to see, like, I remember seeing that movie. God, what year was that? Like 2002.
No, it was
It might have been 2000. No, X-Men was 2000.
late 2001, early 2002, because they had to get rid of the World Trade Center in the advertising.
True. He catches a helicopter.
Yeah, it was 2002.
I don't know
Good lord,
if
that
I've
was
mentioned it.
14 years ago.
So the third Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
And everyone makes fun of emo dancing Parker.
Hey man, I liked that movie.
So emo dancing Parker makes sense to me. Because if nerdy, geeky, no friends Peter Parker thought he was being a cool guy,
That's exactly
that's
how he
exactly
would
what he would do.
Exactly.
he'd step out of the door to think he's hot shit and start disco dancing. And like, I think that makes sense. Did it look kind of stupid? Yeah. But if you actually think of who the character's supposed to be, him doing that with like his hair combed over his face and everything, that's closer to correct Peter Parker than Andrew Garfield ever was.
I've not had the pleasure of seeing the Andrew Garfield ones yet, and I don't know why.
I liked the first one. I thought Garfield was a great Peter Parker in the first one. I thought it was a really enjoyable movie. Second one kind of ruined everything for me. I hated that movie.
Yeah.
I did not like that movie at all. I'm not...
Which one was the electricity-based?
Second one.
Second, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it was with Jamie Foxx's Electro.
I just watched the CinemaSins of it.
And the first one was... Who was the villain in the first?
Don't even remember. Was it Green Goblin? No.
No, I know Rhino showed up at the end. Paul Giamatti, you remember that?
Yeah.
Who was the villain in the first Spider-Man?
Oh, the lizard.
Oh, yeah.
We can't remember what the lizard.
Yep.
Okay, now I gotta see it, because I want to see the lizard.
It was...
I wish we got the comic lizard. We didn't. We got
Right.
some other weird version.
I'm still gonna watch it.
Yeah, you
I'll
can.
be disappointed.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna watch
What
it.
about new Spider-Man, though, after seeing him in, like, Civil War?
Oh, he's adorable.
Right? Isn't he?
Except for he looks like he was snipped out of a comic book. Like they didn't put the same graphic arts into it, and now it's too late to fix it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, he did kind of stand out a little bit.
He seemed more 2D than 3D
In the trailer or like in Civil War?
in Civil War.
Okay.
I feel you.
Civil
Yeah.
War,
Yeah.
also known as Cap and Friend, because he only had one friend in that movie.
Avengers 3.
It was...
Avengers 3, yes.
Let's be real, it was Avengers 3. Just minus Thor and Hulk. Thulk.
That
was no one ever come up with that before. It's trademark.
Watching the trailer for the new Spider-Man Homecoming.
I don't watch trailers.
Okay.
I like going into movies with zero expectations, so I can't be disappointed.
Okay. Then I don't know if I should talk about it or not.
I'm gonna talk about it. Forget.
There's elements that they're showing in the trailer that are from the Ultimate Spider-Man book,
Okay.
but it's still Peter Parker, where it's like stuff is happening to him that happened to Miles Morales in the comic books, because Peter Parker doesn't exist anymore. He died in the Ultimate books, and Miles took his place.
I
And
have
so-
that issue where Peter died.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that first Miles, too.
Mhm.
Pretty sure they're both worthless, because I think literally everyone else in the world has those.
There was a really good moment of Parker's funeral that was really nice. Had me tear up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But in the Ultimate Universe, Spider-Man's like best friend is this Asian dude named Genki. Ganke. I think that's how you pronounce it. Not sure. It'd be weird if it was just Gank.
Gonk.
But
Like Doug Gonk. It's Mahnke. I don't know.
Mankey. But everyone's like, oh, that's Genki in the trailer. And then they're like, no, it's not someone else. It's like, but it's obviously Genki. And people that made the movie are like, no, but it's not Genki. And they're introducing other characters. So like Zendaya from Disney Channel who sings and acts and does stuff.
Right.
My niece knows who she is. I have no idea.
Yeah, that
she's-
just went over.
Yeah. She's huge in Disney somehow. She's in it, and I was like, oh, is she going to be Mary Jane? Or is she going to be Gwen Stacy? Because she's...
Oh, yes, I know who you're talking.
That's one of the things where, like, the true fans are getting angry because she's too ethnic to be the white girls.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care. Will she have red hair? It's just 'cause she could be married. She's Mary Jane then. I don't care. So watching the trailer, and like, she's neither of those people. She's someone from the Ultimate Universe. Because I had my niece watch a trailer, and I was like, Megan, which one is she? She's that one. I was like, all right, then she's not Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy.
Is she the one who has her head bashed in, or the other one?
Whoa,
Oh.
her neck snaps.
Oh, her next day. I
Yeah,
thought.
that's-
Okay.
She falls, but he catches her. But the whiplash of the catch is like snap.
Well, in the Andrew Garfield movie, didn't he catch her and her head just like bounces off the ground?
No, she never actually hit.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It was that snap that
Like I'm just remembering it wrong.
I guess you have to watch it.
I do. Can't rely on
But-
CinemaSins for everything.
No. Which was funny. I watched one of the movies with Mikey.
Yep.
That Jared got me hooked on movies with Mikey.
You're welcome.
It's great.
Yep.
And in one of his lead ups to doing his episode, he like kind of dumps on CinemaSins. Because he's like,
Yep.
or I could just pick out all these things that make it wrong without any context whatsoever and don't actually make any sense, but in 8 minutes or less. And I'm like, oh, I get it. He's making fun of CinemaSins. Because all these things actually do make a lot of sense if you just look at the whole picture and you don't just pick out the one moment.
Yeah.
Which I didn't have. One time Babs sent me a thing about how Captain America's really bad at his job. And I watched it. And like Babs kind of like
Was it
wanted...
shocking?
She kind of wanted to hear my response, and I didn't have any response. Because there was too much to talk about. There was a lot that I wanted to combat, and I just didn't have the time. But
You didn't have the time or the crayons to explain it to me.
huh?
He didn't have the time or the crayons to explain
The
explain
crayon.
it.
I need a big poster board.
Exactly.
Uh,
I think I was just needling you for a response at that point.
I might go back to it. You know, I'll have some free time coming up. But so Powers, it is kind of a shame we're not getting a season 3.
Especially with that cliffhanger.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I gotta read the damn comic.
Because one of the people that like has no powers used to have powers. And they're like, and one of the key elements of the show is like, you can lose your powers. Oh my god, I don't want to lose my powers. Can he get them back? I think he's gonna get them. Nope, he doesn't have them back yet. And so that is an element that goes back and forth throughout every episode. And they show you like a really weird thing that starts to happen, and you're left questioning it. But I also want to see how like their little team fends for themselves like later on.
Oh yeah, because they're without guidance at this point.
Yeah. Because you've got Zora and Retro Girl and Cyborg Dude. I don't know if he has a name.
He does. No one cares.
Chip Hammer made like extra arms. No, he made limbs for a young veteran who like lost some of his body parts. And so he's like a crime fighter now too.
So did they improve on his look?
No.
So if you can go back and look at Alex's write up of the Powers season 1 review. One of the few negative things he had to say was the appearance of Trip Hammer.
His costume was just so bad.
It's awful. There's a picture of it too in Alex's write up. It is brutally awful.
I'm sure that there are cosplayers who have made a more accurate, better Trip Hammer costume
Than the professionally made.
than what they decided to go with for the show. It's like, oh, hey, let's put a sledgehammer on his hands because, you know, he's a hammer guy.
The word hammer's in his name.
Bad.
To be fair, their budget went to Eddie Izzard,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
being in it.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
But he was a surprisingly good actor. Like I'd never seen him in
Eddie
anything
Izzard's
before.
great. He's in the Ocean's movies. That's pretty much all I've seen. He was in Mystery Men too.
I watched The Riches. I like The Riches with him in it.
I've heard good things about that
His
show.
family was a lot of fun. No Johnny Royale in season 2. I was sad about that.
Yeah,
Johnny Royale was like one of my favorite parts of season 1,
he was.
and he was spoken about once in season 2, and that was it. And I was disappointed.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I would
Because
like to have
didn't
more of him.
his boyfriend die in the first one?
I think so.
The multiple guy.
Well, he made a lot of copies, and one of them died. I'm not sure if it was the original or not. And we don't know if they were in a relationship. I mean, they could have just been really good friends, roommates.
No,
whatever.
I think they said. Whatever.
I have no idea.
I'm gonna Google this. Continue on.
I'm trying to think of his name. The Multiple Man guy.
Multiple. That's from Invincible.
Simons. His name is Simons.
Like multiple? Like Simons? Multiple Simons?
Yeah.
Not just
It's-
one. His name wasn't Simon.
No.
It's Simons.
Yep, exactly.
God damn it.
Because one time he calls himself on the phone, and like he hands himself, because there's a bunch of them, and he hands himself the phone, and he's like, "It's you," and he goes, "What do I want?" And he's like, "You didn't say." And he answers the phone, and exchanges like that made it a lot of fun. But I got into like other reasons why I liked him a lot back in that episode, but no one else really stood out. I had a couple. They shoved Will Wheaton into a few episodes.
As you do.
For some reason. And Tricia Helfer showed up in a few episodes.
Who's that?
She got real famous when she was one of the Cylons from the Battlestar Galactica series.
Totally.
She was like the hot Cylon.
Right.
The evil alien robot people.
Okay. I've never seen it.
She was FBI chick. And she was a werecat. And it was,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
She was interesting.
The thing. Can you move your phone away from the light a little bit? There we go.
There we go.
Sorry.
One of the things I hate about when shows and movies try to do an animal motif, all they do is take the stock animal sound
Yep.
and put it over them.
Yep.
So they open their mouth and it's the same jaguar roar you've heard in every single other thing that has
Since
a
the beginning
cat
of time.
yeah,
Just like the Wilhelm scream.
exactly.
Yeah.
Or the gate creak.
Yep.
Every time an old rusty gate opens, it's the same clink.
Or the laughing children. They creep me out, to be honest.
I didn't know that gets repeated.
Oh yeah, there's like 2 laughing children tracks that have been used for ages, and it creeps me out
I think I know
so
what you're
much.
talking about. Yeah. So like, just find a new way to make an animal sound, because it's you completely lose me. I imagine you lose.
It's not like we're
everyone else,
out
too.
of Jaguars.
Or you can find a way to like have the person try and do the noise and then mess with it digitally, or you find a way to alter it so it sounds like this is something a human might sound like, even if they have a tail because they're a cat person.
Of course.
But
overall, I mean, seems like it held up for you guys. It sounds like you want more, but
I
there's
would
not
have
going to
kept
be
watching.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would have kept watching.
And like,
if
I mean, in this day and age, though, you literally never know. Like, the second something gets dropped, like, there's so many other possibilities of someone else picking it up.
mm-hmm.
Like, what was it recent? I can't remember what it was, but it's just like, yeah, well, we got dropped, so Netflix picked us up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many possibilities and opportunities. Although, I mean, they started on a small platform, so
Mhm.
I guess the odds are kind of against them, but you never know.
I ended up listening to one of the Nerdist episodes where they talked to Shelter Copley,
Right.
because he was Christian Walker,
Mhm.
and the whole it was an amazing episode because he's from South Africa, and he's like, yeah, there was a time when they were just giving out TV stations. I'm like, what? You could just go get. He's like, yeah, so me and some friends got our own station. It's like, what do you mean you got your own TV station? And he's talking all about it. He's like, yeah, we had to come up programming, we had to come up shows. We had a TV station for a while. And so not only does he act, he's been a producer and a director and everything. So
I need a link to this interview.
this was awesome. And so he went on to talk about doing District 9 with Neil Blomkamp.
Yo, that movie was so good.
And
He was great in that movie,
So
too.
like
You're like one of 2 people who I know like that movie. I loved it.
I
I
love
liked it.
District 9.
I thought it was great.
It had some pretty harsh overtones. Like, they weren't really subtle with it.
Yeah.
No.
But, like,
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
And so one of the things Charlotte was talking about, he's like having produced stuff aside from that, and like being a co-producer on this or whatever his position was besides acting. He's like, I know when I'm in the office and one of the aliens is supposed to be there, that if I walk around the desk this way, we're going to save $40,000 in 6 months on CG work than if I walked around the desk this way.
Right.
And like just something basic like that no other actor would ever think of, but knowing that where they're going to put the creature and how they're going to shoot it, and he's just like, I'll save money and time if I just do it like this. And it's like, that's brilliant. More actors need to do that. More everything. Directors, whatever. I have to think of that stuff ahead of time. Because I feel like we'd save a lot more bad projects.
We'll get to biggest disappointment. Trust me, we'll get there.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Yeah.
Do you have any more for Powers?
Powers, I really need to read the comics because I'm confused about the ending.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't ask you for a long time because I didn't know it was canceled, so I didn't want season 3 to be spoiled.
So part of the thing is where season 2 ends, you don't get that until like volume 10, I think.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
Well, there's a lot of characterization that has to go through. Like, they draw it out a little bit more.
Well, there's a lot of other crimes that go on. There's a lot of other things that they deal with. Because there's still Deanna getting sick, getting the Powers virus.
Oh,
and like
yes.
that goes on for a long time. And then the FBI has to do a lot of stuff. And like do they work with them? Are they part of them and everything? And then the comic book ends and it starts up under a different imprint because it was Image and then it went to Marvel for a while. And so it's like a subsection of Marvel. So it's not like the Powers book that you can buy now isn't the goody-goody superhero Marvel imprint. It's one of the Icons one. So that means they could swear, or they can draw nudity in it, or stuff like that, which would never show up in a Spider-Man book. But they just explain it away as it being like this other imprint called Icon. They do a lot of for a while, Icon was a way to try and open up like smaller independent creators to make their own books and not have to worry about being a part of the bigger universe.
Okay.
Yeah. They gave it a shot for a while, but Powers is pretty much the only book they do now.
Right.
For that. But
Powers. You can probably still watch it.
oh yeah, it's still up.
So if you like the sound of it, go check it out. Go listen to episode 163. Is that what you said? 4. The first appearance of Babs. That's like a rare episode. First ever. So now it's time. We've done it the past couple years in a row. It is time to ring in the new year by talking about our favorite things from this year. We typically go, like, we've expanded every year. Back in the day, it was like, what's your favorite comic?
Mm-hmm.
We got some more this year. So if you, I have answers. I kind of spring this on everyone too. I remember the first year I was like, hey, we're doing best ofs, like during the episode. Oh, okay, cool. Glad I had time to think about this.
What did I consume within the past 3 hours?
Yep.
It's probably that.
Pretty much.
I'm just like, what came out in 2016?
Exactly. That wasn't taken from us too early.
It was a strange time for news because there was so much going on that a lot of us felt we had to pay attention to, that there wasn't as much room for luxury things to enjoy.
Yep.
Because we were all just worrying.
Yeah, literally. Like the entire year just worrying about everything.
And then being bitter.
And then worries came to fruition and everything's awful. So, best movie.
Deadpool. I love Deadpool.
Deadpool is tied for me for first.
You weren't going to go first, but I guess now... No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
That was shockingly good.
Like, shockingly were the only word that I can come up with. Like, the trailer, like the viral video that came out, like, oh my god, that looks so neat. Like, oh my god, Ryan Reynolds, they got him to do the voice, and then it turns out it was actually like it was the movie, and like I loved it. Like, I made my wife watch it. I was like, you gotta watch this movie's awesome.
There was that teaser with the highway scene
Yep.
in the SUV, and that came out, and I thought like that was fan made or something.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was a studio production. Because I figured it was a thing that would just never ever get made, and they figured out a way to fake it, and I was like, oh, this is really well done. I hope they do a full movie.
Yeah.
You're probably not gonna, and then they did.
And then we got it.
Yeah.
But Deadpool for me is tied with it's so lame and expected, but it's tied with Civil War for me.
And that came out on Valentine's Day.
I know that was early on, but like
So that
when I
was
think about
February of last year.
I haven't seen Rogue One yet though,
Mhm.
which I'm going to see probably tomorrow with my wife. But like, no, not tomorrow because we're playing D&D tomorrow. I'm so excited, but we're playing D&D tomorrow.
Are we playing D&D or are we playing the other game?
I don't know what we're playing.
I don't
I have
either.
no idea who's running the game. All I know is that my friends who I play D&D with are coming over,
Uh-huh.
or I don't know where we're going. We're going to
I thought
hang
we were going
out.
to your place.
We most likely are.
I was going to ask. Anyway.
So
I was told you were playing D&D.
yeah, she gets it.
I was excited because I'm like, I want to hear the story when we get back.
But I didn't like, the new Star Trek was great.
Mhm.
I like the first two a lot more. Like ultimately at the end of the day, it's probably I think Deadpool probably edges Civil War. I had him like at a tie, but the more I think about it, the more I really enjoyed Deadpool. For me,
I felt there wasn't much disappointment in Deadpool
yeah,
because it kept you on your toes so much.
yep,
It kept you like wondering and guessing, and like the second you thought you could expect what was next, it wasn't. It really wasn't. It's like he's gonna do what with his new baby hand?
oh. Yeah, and he tells you about it.
It's gonna look huge.
What about you?
And
Is Deadpool also your movie?
no,
Oh, okay,
but Civil War is.
right.
Um,
Just for the fan service.
it's after after being personally hurt by Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield for 2 movies. like it was an attack on my own soul.
Okay.
Getting this new Spider-Man, his entire screen time was better Peter Parker and better Spider-Man than I felt we had in both Andrew Garfield movies. Like, I don't want to hate Andrew Garfield, the person, because he seems like a really cool dude.
Right.
But just his portrayal didn't work as to who the true character was. And dealing with Winter Soldier, trying to do his thing, and like, at some point, maybe he should have just given up. Being like, Tony, I'm sorry. I'm just going to lie down. Just cuff me or whatever. Just, I really apologize. Like, no, they're going to fight over it.
I really did enjoy that Spider-Man.
Mhm.
Because I have an 18-year-old brother, so he acted like he was a teenager.
Yeah.
Especially at the after credits,
Yeah.
where he had the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you want to talk about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was his spider beacon, his light.
Yeah, but when he was talking to his Aunt May about like how he got beat, I was like,
Oh,
"There's
yeah.
this guy Steve from
This guy
Brooklyn."
Steve. He's from Brooklyn. He was big.
Hey man, can you imagine being his age and going toe to toe with Captain America?
Nah.
Especially in that universe where nobody beats Captain America in that universe. Like,
And knowing that he's 80 or 90 or whatever.
yeah,
Yep.
dude's a legend. He's fought in literal wars. He's taken down like the best, and like he was holding his own with him.
Mm-hmm.
But
And he
I mean,
geeked out about it a little
yeah,
bit.
that was also fun. Like when he was geeking out, like as he was fighting people.
Your shield defies every law of physics.
Wow, your arm is metal.
Right? Do you
And
have
just
a
the
metal arm?
look on Bucky's face when he realized he's fighting a kid.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
what do I do with this?
Mm-hmm. Falcon was fun. Ant-Man was fun.
Yep.
The way they put so many people together was really good. And
When he was
I thought that
laughing
a
when he was
water
getting
truck.
big.
and the Vision was still a bitch.
Oh yeah, he was.
So that was nice. I was happy with that.
He ruined everything. Poor Rhodey. Best video game. There's really. I think I played 3 games this year, and one of those games I've put over 100 hours into.
There's a lot of strong contenders, though. Depending on who you are and what you like, there's a lot of really intense stuff for a lot of people.
Was it Battleborn for you?
No. It was Darkstalkers.
Darkstalkers.
No, it was what's the Bloodborne? It was Bloodborne.
You played Bloodborne?
No, I don't.
I was gonna say, I didn't know you played
But
that.
like with Bloodborne coming out, and then like the game that's just like Bloodborne, I forget what the name is. Like the same company makes it. It's really tough to
Fallout?
play.
No.
No,
Bethesda made Dishonored 2.
right?
And
Yeah,
they
and
made-
Fallout 4 finally came out,
Right.
which people were going crazy for.
I have the pins
Oh, yeah?
from the Penny Arcade pins. from PAX because they had a dog meat one.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy that. He's a German Shepherd. Wears a bandana.
Oh yeah.
And all the new Battlefields that came out.
Right, Battlefield 1 looks incredible. Just looking at the at the gameplay online,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I'm in the worst gamer in the world in the fact that I don't play many games. Like this year, I played Uncharted 4, which is excellent. I played half of the new Fire Emblem, in Overwatch, and I downloaded Dishonored a couple weeks ago because it was cheap, and I'm already done with it. It's so boring. I can't get into it.
Wait,
and then
which game?
Dishonored.
I just bought that for my brother.
Which
The
one?
first one or
The
the
first
second
one, or the second one?
Second.
Because I heard the second one's incredible.
Okay, good.
But
That's his
I've-
Christmas gift.
I have a friend who plays a lot of Dishonored.
Right.
Like, she's gone back and, like, played it a couple times. She was gonna...
I'm not very far in it.
Like, one of the few times I was over her house, she was gonna, like, show me some gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
And, the Xbox Cloud was down,
Right.
and so she couldn't load it in.
Yep.
And I was like, this is why I prefer physical games.
Yep.
Yep.
Physical. If I don't have to log a network, that's just the better, so I can still play my physical game.
But at the end of the day, like I said, I've put over 100 hours into Overwatch since May. So, I mean, obviously, like, it's to the point where every day when I come home, I'm like, okay, I get home, I eat dinner, and hop on Overwatch. Like, that's my night. So I can't not. I'm trying to think of what else I even played this year, but, like, just Overwatch just dominated every... I mean, my wife got me the new Final Fantasy for Christmas, so I've put a couple hours into that so far, but I just default back to Overwatch all the time.
I read one of the Penny Arcade comics where I don't know which one's which. One asked her about the new Final Fantasy game.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Hey, how do you like the Chocobros?" Because he calls them Chocobro. There's four. You have a party of four, and you play one of them. I
And
guess.
they're all gorgeous dudes.
And so, like, he's responding and saying, like, "Oh, this guy's like this, and his parents are that, and this guy's a chef, and he's all right." And then he's like, "Well, what about the fourth one?" And his response is something like, "He is gorgeous, and I want to f him clean in half." I'm like, I work the next day. I'm like, clean in half. Oh my god, I never
So
thought.
good.
Where do they come up with this stuff?
They had a good...
Same for Overwatch though. Over here.
Yeah.
'Cause the online capability of making new friends, which we've made a couple new friends.
Yeah, we have.
Which, you know how many new friends I made playing Call of Duty Zombies? Like one. Just the one.
How many hours do you have in that Final Fantasy save now? Tons. I feel like I get these Chocobros and they get me. Noctis, weird relationship with his dad. Gladio, he's got my back. Pronto's a squirrely shutterbug, collating our whole deal for the gram. Isn't there another one? Ignis. What's his deal? He's a hot chef with glasses and I want to fuck him clean in half. Just like zoomed up on his face.
Yeah, I didn't see that before.
So good. I read it, but I was typically when I read Penny Arcade, it's in the morning before I leave for work. It's I'll look at it and chuckle and then bail.
Mm-hmm.
It's
See,
good.
I
And now
watch-
that I'm playing the game and I know the characters, yep.
I watch roommate play that sometimes, a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I watched him stream it once.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was jumping on a giant monster's ass.
Probably.
So there's a giant monster. They beat it. His party beat it and whatever. And he was streaming at the time. And so he has this character run around to this monster's butt. But since it's dead, it doesn't block the character from walking through it anymore. And so the way the pixels work, so he's jumping up and down. He's like, "Yeah, I'm in your butt now. I beat you. What? How take that?"
Oh man, that's.
I'm like, it's a good. We make good roommates. This works.
What about you, Babs? Did you play any games this year?
Oh man, I played the shit out of Pokemon Go.
Nice.
Yeah, oh yeah, yep.
Yeah, I had 3 jobs this year, so I would just run.
A lot
and
of
play
traveling.
Yeah, just
Yep.
be like, "Hey, I'm in a city. I'm gonna play Pokemon Go because I live in suburbia hell. There's nothing near me."
That's a fair.
I was terribly jealous. The first weekend Pokemon Go came out, and you post a screen cap of your your map.
Oh yeah,
and
my
there-
office.
and there's damn Pokemon everywhere. And I look at mine, and I was like, "There's nothing here." And then I travel for 10 minutes, and there's nothing there either. And I go to work, and there's nothing there. And I'm like, "This is bullshit."
Yep. I would get ecstatic when sitting at home, I'd just boot up and there's a Weedle.
Yeah, so
Oh, he ran away. Cool. Awesome.
the first week or two of Pokemon Go, whenever I was just sitting at my office desk and fired it up, I would have so many Pokemon, like as soon as I captured one, it would be replaced by another. Because my office is a payment center, so lots of cell phone signals,
Right.
and then my office blocked the game.
No.
So, like, it was inaccessible. And then someone found out that if you log into our network Wi-Fi
Mhm.
and then turn it off, Pokemon Go will load.
Hmm.
But if
Huh.
you connect to our Wi-Fi, that means the office, you've temporarily given them access to all of your stuff, and they've saved your passwords or whatever you were logged into. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm just not going to play Pokemon Go at work. And then something happened, like one of the updates you can play again, so I'm just like low-key on my quote-unquote lunch
What up,
playing the
Pidgey?
game.
That's awesome.
I got my Pikachu with a Santa hat, so
There you go. Did you get your Ditto yet?
no.
Jesus.
Get his what?
Ditto?
Oh, no, I haven't gotten
It is available now. I haven't gone for stuff that I don't want in a while. So, like, I'm pretty done trying to catch Rattatas
Yep.
and Pidgeys. Just, I don't, no.
I mean, they give you a little bit of experience, right?
You need the Stardust.
Yeah.
The Stardust helps, but
So the problem
is
is,
it worth wasting a Pokeball on?
I
it?
don't, exactly. I
Go
have,
visit Brett in Northampton, and there's stops everywhere.
so there's a route in Suffield that's really nice. And there's a nice park in Manchester called Wickham Park. And all these have just like loaded of Pokestops. But it's not something that's nearby. So I have to make an effort to go to these things just for the purpose of walking in a circle to spin up all the Pokestops. And it's not like I could just casually do it like on my way to the store because we don't have those near here. It's way over there somewhere. And it's I have to like take time out of my day, which I probably should because I could use exercise and go for a walk. But now it's winter, so it's cold.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, you could visit Brett and just... like, whenever we go for a walk to, like, center of town to get food, it's like, hold one hand, Pokemon Go the other, just...
That's fair. I mean,
we need a navigator so you don't walk into the street.
yeah. Not walk into people, just tug me.
the ironic part is one time out playing Pokemon Go, I suffered damage to my car, but I wasn't even playing at the time. Like, we had finished hunting Pokemon, and like we were driving home, and I took a turn too wide, and I clipped a corner and dented my rim, gave me a flat tire. I wasn't driving and playing, wasn't breaking any laws. I would never do that, obviously. But didn't even have my phone out, nothing. Clipped the corner. Such an idiot. And the thing is, it was a street that I used to live on. I've made that turn hundreds of times. Yep.
You forgot?
I was taking it from the other direction, and I bopped that corner real good, dented my rim. Luckily, my boys down at, what's the tire place?
Town Fair?
Town Fair. Yep, there it is. They bent my rim back. Cost me $15, as opposed to, $90 for a new rim. Anyways,
You were probably really distracted thinking about what muck was backwards.
gross.
Wasn't there an
So-
error for a long time that was catching it would crash your game?
I don't know. Was there?
I think so. I there was never one in
There
my
was
area.
missing no. If you caught that way back in Pokemon Red and Blue.
I
Right.
remember that.
But okay, I got to speed this up because we're low on time here. Best comic writer for me, it's going to go to Jason Aaron for his work on Thor, because that book is amazing. Also, I'm going to give a spoiler here. My best comic of the year is Thor
Oh man.
because it's amazing. I love that book. That book, I get giddy when new issues come out. Like they gave a backstory of Mjolnir. He's a hammer. And I was just like engrossed with every page. I love that flippin' book.
Did they talk about how it was a full-size hammer? at one
No,
time?
they talk about how it was a star. It was this giant storm, and
Oh.
they encapsulated the storm inside the hammer.
That's why it's so heavy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
neutron star or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
All right, I need to read that now.
I love that book, and like,
Did the science get you? Is that
Yes.
okay? Fair. Good.
Oh, and
I'm nodding. Like
in Wheel of Time, Mjolnir exists, but it's called Mahalanir
okay,
because
that's not Perrin's hammer, is it?
huh? Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Huh. I never knew Prince. I don't remember Prince Hammer having a name.
They mentioned it a few times.
I just remember
And then later it's just called Parent's Hammer.
his mentor with the big Bowie knife telling him, you have to put it down when you don't want to put it down anymore. He gave him advice, because like, so in the Wheel of Time series,
Yep.
Perrin's like a blacksmith, and he picked up this hammer and he has to start fighting these wars and everything, and he doesn't want to get involved. He just wants to go back to town and like be a chill dude, but he has to fight the bad guys. And so he gets this mentor who's a student who's kind of like him and has like this big like scary knife. It's not a sword, it's a big knife. And at one point he understands Perrin's like place where he's like, I don't want to fight. And the dude's like, good. When the time comes when you want to fight, it's time to put down the hammer. But until then, you have to keep picking up the hammer to fight.
Right.
I'm talking about his power forged hammer. That's Mahalanir. Not the little one he starts off with. He has two.
At what book does the Power Forge one come in?
10?
I never read it that far.
Oh, that's like 30,000 pages in.
At some point, the book's like 800 pages.
I have the companion. I got the companion for Christmas, and it's 806 pages.
It's just a companion.
Yeah.
But the Thor book, it was my best comic last year too. So it's kind of lame, but
Really?
yeah.
Huh.
Yep. Love that book. I think Thor, like Lady Thor, whatever you want to call her, I think she's amazing.
Did they
I enjoyed that.
Mhm.
did they reveal the secret yet
No.
of what made Thor?
They've started, because now there's the Unworthy Thor book. It's a second Thor with
Oh, right.
that follows around.
Yeah.
Now he just calls himself Odinson.
Yeah.
And like they hinted at it, and I don't think at least not that I've seen, they haven't said what Fury told him.
Damn it.
But I'm dying to know. And
I told you what I thought it was, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Is
Yep.
it close to that, or is it like not even?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But
I speculated.
I'm just gonna bang out my comic artists too. Like I'll just do the comic genre. So my best comic writer for me was Jason Aaron on Thor. My best comic was Thor. Best artist for me this year, and it's kind of out of left field, and it took a lot not to just pick Russell Dowderman from Thor because he's incredible. Was Cory Walker on his return to Invincible, because I think it's incredible. And like I know we've talked about Ryan Otley at length and how like he's unbelievable, but like he took some time off to do like Grizzly Shark and what have you. Yeah, Grizzly Shark.
No, I know. Brett told me about it.
Yeah. And Cory Walker came back on Invincible for like 6 issues, I think. I think he's still in the midst of his run. Because he was the original artist on Invincible. Which, like, when you look at, like, current Ryan Otley versus, like, Cory Walker from 2003, it's like, wow, that's definitely different. I think Cory Walker is absolutely nailing it. I was like, oh, okay, so he is the mastermind behind pretty much, 3/4 of all the character creation in this book. Like, the dude's a genius.
As far as like designing characters,
Yep.
he was behind a lot of it.
And
To shape the look of what the universe is, it means a lot.
Yep. And I think he's just doing fantastic on it personally. Like it's so hard to be like, oh man, Cory Walker's run is done again. I guess they'll go back to Ryan Otley. Like it's just how do you hit lightning twice in the same spot? Lightning in a bottle, blah blah blah. Whatever stupid metaphor euphemism you want to pick. Like the book has two incredible artists, and you can only have one at a time.
Huh. Now I want both at the same time.
Exactly. That's all I need. Is that so much?
Where is Cory Walker? How come we haven't seen him at a convention?
I don't know.
Damn it.
I don't think he's overseas.
We've had the joy of meeting Ryan Otley a couple of times. At least 3. 4.
At least.
4. And he's really cool. He's really fun. We've never met with Cory Walker.
Nope. We've met Cliff, too. Cliff
Yeah.
Rathburn.
Yeah.
We've met Ransom. We've met most of the artists who have worked on the Invincible universe. But haven't met Cory Walker yet. Someday.
He's your Waldo.
Yeah.
Just keep missing.
He's our unicorn.
Oh, I finally got my Waldo this year.
Yeah, you did.
Doug Menke. I was looking for him for a long time, and I got him at New York this year. I've been really slacking reading my individual issues of comic books. I'm still buying them and collecting them.
Right.
Haven't been able to read all of them. I've kept up on like 3. Because in the meantime, it's easier at my pace of life right now to just read trades and graphic novels and bigger books. But those aren't always current because they're a year old or
Right.
they're a little older than that. But one I have kept up on that I've been a big fan of and I have recommended is All New Wolverine. And it's X-23 taking the place of Logan
Mm-hmm.
as Wolverine.
After Death of Wolverine.
Yeah. And it's been fun. It's been exciting. They're managing to do a lot of things with this character and with the series that's really tough to do, especially in the Marvel Universe. They're introducing new characters that you can grow accustomed to. And you're developing Laura's character, so you're identifying with her sometimes because she has to be Wolverine, but she'll have flashbacks with Logan being like, "You don't have to kill. That's what I do,
Right.
Because I'm the best at it, and you don't have to. So like, save yourself from my torturous life."
Right.
And so there's flashbacks of you, so you still get to see Wolverine sometimes, but as it's based in the Marvel Universe, they're also throwing in other items that have been around for a while, like other events that have happened in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Fin Fang Foom shows up, and Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, shows up to fight Foom with her, and they have like funny exchanges because Tony Stark is there, and like he gets kind of creepy, and for Tony Stark to be like, he says something about being covered in slime, and he's like, "Oh, this is nothing," and both girls just go, "Ew." And it's a lot of fun. It's been fun, and you still get to see relationships that have been established in the past carry over. Because she interacts with the Wasp, and she interacts with Squirrel Girl, and so you still get like a sense of history. And if you want to, you can go research that in a wiki or in one of the Marvel Universe books or something.
Right.
You can look up like what they're talking about. It won't be that hard. And at the same time, they're developing new characters, new stories to be like, and you want to know what happens next. The art's always been crisp and clean. It's had a couple different artists. Marasu Takara being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Who I got a sketch from him.
I remember that.
It's
Back
not
in the
that.
day.
But Tom Taylor has been the writer for most of its series so far. So I like what Tom Taylor's doing with Marcio, and David Lopez has done a lot of the art too.
Mm-hmm.
And you almost can't tell when they switch either, which is
Right.
nice.
Yeah.
When the art takes a big switch and it's no,
It can be jarring.
you talked about how much
Yeah.
you hate that,
Yeah.
but yeah. So my vote is All New Wolverine for my favorite comic book.
What about writer and artist?
So remember the thing I said about trade paperbacks?
About not reading?
All right, so I actually have a suggestion.
Ooh.
Oh. Do it.
Birthright, which I'm pretty sure it's current. I just got the newest book, and it's by Joshua Williamson and Andre Bressan, Bressan,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about how this kid on a family outing disappeared, came back a year later, but he's like 40 years older,
Yeah.
and he's this big, like, burly,
He's barbarian,
yeah,
like Conan kind of.
Okay.
and he spent like the past 30, 40 years in this other world just like fighting and saving the world and being the one, and he's crossed back into our world, and the world that he comes from is just like us. Like, there's no magic, there's no mutants, there's no
Huh.
powers.
It's a normal world.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So everybody's just like, I don't know what to do with this. There's a crazy 40-year-old man claiming he's my son, and is that a pregnant harpy? What the hell is going on? And it's a very interesting series. I don't want to spoil anything because it's still actively coming out. I just got book 4 last weekend, and
So is that trade 4?
Hmm?
The trade paperback 4?
Yes.
Or, okay. So it hasn't been coming out too long, but
right,
it's on its at least 4th trade. But there's
Right.
still also an
Yes.
ongoing.
yes, the latest trade came out December 14th of 2016.
Okay,
We'll call it current.
that's pretty up to date.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't even care.
because I picked up.
That's a comic you like, and it was your favorite thing this year.
I picked up
I don't
volume
care.
1. It was good.
But one of my favorite things about this particular one, like the story is pretty good, but the art is amazing. There's a part where the barbarian guy is completely laid out, and his brother has some sort of magic power. You're not exactly sure where it is yet because it was introduced this book.
Mm-hmm.
So he pulls out the evil spirit, spoiler, from his brother. He does it wrong and he puts it back in, but he puts it back in wrong. So you have like this monster thing spawning from his brother, kind of like a Cronenberg type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he has to pull it back out and then insert it correctly, and just the body horror that goes into that was kind of fantastic. I like body horror.
Looking at think of like other comic books where magic has happened, and think of how they illustrate like magic happening
Right.
somehow. And there's ways to do it well, and ways where it's like, meh, I guess that's the thing I don't really know what's going on, but there it is. This is a book where it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like it might be terrible magic. It's scary and it's terrifying and bad things are happening, but it's illustrated in a way where it looks amazing.
Mm-hmm. Birthright.
Yeah.
Okay, really quickly, just to polish off the year end, biggest disappointment and biggest surprise. Do you guys have answers? I have
I'm surprised
answers.
at how many people died, how many celebrities died this year.
Yep, that was a shocking amount. Could also be biggest disappointment as well.
Like, I know many people were in their 90s, but a lot of the celebrities were like our parents' age and relatively healthy. So just the
Younger
fact that
than
they
my parents.
yeah, like a lot of them younger than my parents.
Yeah.
So just having them die is like, it's an extra dose of morality that you experience. Like, my parents could be the next ones. Like, what the hell?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's really shocking and jarring and depressing. For me, okay, really quick, biggest disappointment, yeah, Suicide Squad. Okay, I guess we can just get that out of the way because
You
I was,
saw
you never,
I didn't see it.
I don't remember when you saw it.
yes, I saw it like the week it came out.
Oh, I don't remember. We never talked about it.
No,
Did we
it
ever talk
doesn't
about
warrant talking about.
Ow! Not
Yo,
even
but-
an insult?
Oh God, I hated that movie,
I think this should be the rest of the episode.
and yeah. I was bummed because I wanted that movie to be good. Like I want DC to do well. You know, I want you to do good things, and it was not good. Okay, biggest disappointment was Suicide Squad. Biggest surprise, kind of out of left field here. It has nothing to do with comics, movies, video games, whatever. My biggest surprise this year was This Way to the Egress at Steampunk World's Fair last year because I had never seen them. They were always at the events, but like. We never caught them because like it was like
Because of Jeff Mock programming, we were always somewhere else.
yeah, it's like oh well okay so Egress is on now, but also this other thing that I'm interested like so I guess I'll go see this one thing, and we finally caught them at our 4th year attending.
Yeah.
We caught them this past year, and they were rad. Loved them, and they're going to be at Brass Ring. This isn't even an ad because Brass Ring is like next week.
It
Or
is
something like
January 7th and 8th in Bristol, Connecticut.
It's like this tiny little show at a carousel museum in Bristol, Connecticut, and they're playing there, and I'm pretty pumped because I haven't seen them since May. And I was watching them chronicle on Instagram their new tour bus because they bought a bus and they like renovated it and made it tourable and stuff. It was neat. So they were my thing. Okay, so how about you guys? Biggest disappointment and biggest surprise?
Just
Perfect.
Biggest surprise? How many things I managed to break this year? I mean, I'm good at breaking things, but when the AC for my building went out and then I crashed the public server twice, that was...
There you go. This is stuff you can be proud of.
It is.
I'm making sure someone was who I thought he was.
I told everybody our server is foolproof because I was the fool to prove it.
Ah, there you go.
Actually, I will say one surprise. The existence of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't think of that, but that... I wanted to give it only 10 minutes to try it out because everybody was talking about it, and then I binge-watched everything.
As most people did.
Yep.
That's a fair. Stranger Things was a huge surprise. It just came out of nowhere.
Biggest disappointment?
Yeah.
Black Mirror.
What?
Isn't the show
My
like
opinion
everyone's
varies
loving?
greatly on that.
I can't stand Black Mirror. Like, I'm sure... Have I talked about this in the show before?
I don't think so. Should we save this?
This might be another episode.
Okay, let's
'Cause I've gone
I
on.
don't know.
Let's
I'm
table-
gonna throw down on this.
let's table this one, and then Babs can come back and you guys can throw down.
Oh, there's another 100 episodes.
You really give you time to prep your arguments.
I've only watched 2 episodes of Black Mirror, and the second one affected me so deeply. I never want to risk watching an episode ever again.
What 2 episodes did you see?
The first one and the second one of season 1.
Okay, the first one was awful, and I almost quit
Yeah, I
after
got
that
through it.
episode.
But the second one had so much going on, it destroyed me mentally. And like, I know I just talked about depression, and I don't want to make it like a trivial thing. And I've never been depressed except for when I watched that episode. It made me not want to do anything. I just wanted to sit there in the dark and be sad. I didn't want to go to sleep. I didn't want to eat food for once. I didn't want to do anything. It just made me like want to be still and kind of weep. We've talked about this.
Yes.
Because you were like, oh, he could have just done something else. I'm like, that wasn't an option, Babs. He didn't have the option.
Are you sure that was me? 'Cause
Yeah, that was you. Oh, why didn't he just bargain for da-da-da? I'm like, he didn't have many options to bargain. He couldn't bargain for anything where he was. But that affected me so greatly. I don't want to risk another episode at all. I don't want to put myself through that.
Okay, see, you're approaching Black Mirror wrong. You're not supposed to watch that show and expect yourself to feel good at the end. You're supposed to feel like shit at the end. I stopped the episode to cry. I cried for a few minutes, and then I continued with it. And I think I paused it like 2 more times before I was able to finish it. It was the newest season with San Junipero.
Yeah, I don't want to do that to myself.
I like being happy. All
You
right,
clearly have more self-respect than I do.
that was our year. Tell us your year stuff in the comments on the thingies. Yeah, here's to 2016, I guess, or 2017. Happy New Year, everybody. Right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Babs,
we have some plans.
we do.
Hopefully all the plans come to
Fruition.
vegetable-tion.
Real quick, Babs, you like to take pictures. Is there any? Do you want to plug your whole picture thing? Are you going to be anywhere special?
I'm going to be Bristol, Connecticut for Brass Ring. February, I'm going to be in Princeton, New Jersey for Glimmerdark. Steampunk World's Fair as usual in May. And hopefully I will be tapping you guys in January or February because I'm going to be starting a Kickstarter
Heyo.
for a photo book and
Sorry, we don't
photo
support
calendar.
Kickstarters here. No, I'm kidding. We love Kickstarters. We support all the Kickstarters.
Well, that's
So,
pretty
yes.
rad.
Wait, I cut you off. What are you going to make? What's your plans? What do you...
It is a photo book and a photo calendar.
Nice.
And just to be a jerk, I decided to name the photo calendar SCAT, which is the Steampunk Collaborative Adornment Timetable.
Dig it.
Yes. And I have not named the book yet.
I'm anxious for the name.
Okay.
So, keep your eyes peeled if you're at those events and you want to get your picture taken. We know someone who's good at taking pictures. So,
Oh yeah, who's that?
Babs, you're funny.
Yeah.
All right, that's gonna do it for this year. Isn't that nice to say?
Yeah.
We're coming up on year 5 of
Mhm.
doing this in March. It'll be year 5. Can you believe that? I can't believe that. Anyways, 2016, yeah, super fun. Let's go to 2017. Babs, thanks for coming on. Super fun times.
Thanks for having me.
I'm glad you guys can talk about powers with each other.
In person.
Yeah, in person this time too. It's rare when we see Babs in person.
Listeners just like missed our stare down that was going on.
It was intense. Anyways, Babs, thanks for coming on. Super fun times. I'll see everyone next year. It never gets old.
It's pretty old.
And so until next week, until next year, there it is.
I'm Alex.
I'm JR.
And I'm Babs who takes pictures.
And this has been episode 250 of Opinions May Vary.
Woohoo.
That ending seriously messed me up. Being second then. Like, I was like, wait, do I just say my name right now?
You were stalling.
I know, I was. I'm delirious.